Hey, TikTok. How's everybody doing this evening? Y'all come by and say hey and set a spell. There we are. Let me see what's going on over here. There we are. There we are. There we are. There we are. Hey. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Sitting outside this evening. Ada's taking an early nap. She's sleeping. Uh, of course, she's been going all day too. She went up to Taco Pete. We have a little place up here in up up the road. I'm get comfortable, y'all. A little place up the road here called Taco Pete, and she got her, I think, like 3 tacos and run up there. Hey, Miss Rhonda, good evening to you out there. It's 8:06. It says over on Facebook. Good evening, TikTok. I got my little phone propped up in a little flower pot here. Kind of a bad angle, but it's all right. Uh, the I come outside to set like this. Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, I typically go to bed about 10 every night. So it's been kind of balmy and overcast. I woke up this morning, it was drizzly and rainy. The And then it's kind of been it hadn't rained today, but it's just been, hey, thank y'all for the hearts and all over on TikTok. Good evening, TikTok. Um, I was laying in. I took me a nap earlier today, but I posted on my Facebook page a link to YouTube of an interview that Brene Brown, Doctor, who's the big thing about human emotions and guilt and all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, she's just a beautiful, lovely woman, and uh, so I listened to her. She was doing an interview with some guy with a British accent, and she she was talking about, and it just kind of, and I just posted this word. I know people on my Facebook page probably sometimes like, man, that Eddie Sellers is a weird dude. Uh, Let me put this over here so I can quit going back and forth. But I just posted the word collective effervescence, effervescence, and and that's what she was talking about. They got in a conversation about she had on her Liverpool football shirt. She's like uh, uh, Ted, whatever that series was we watched on, where he was the coach of the soccer team. Well, Dr. Brene Brown's big into that Liverpool team over there, and the guy that was hosting her, oh, he was all in it too. They were bosom buddies, 11 football and sports together, and so anyhow, in the interview, if you click on it, listen to it. She talked about in 1910 or 20 or something, a researcher or some person of fame, uh, when he described what it felt like when a bunch of people that don't know each other come together, and he was speaking about it in a religious sense, in a sense where people gathered at church in those days, and he said there's a feeling of being in a group of people who all, hey, Bridget, good evening to you. Hey, Miss Kathy Cole over there on Facebook, and Bridget on Facebook. Uh, but Dr. Brene Brown, she said the word, he phrased it as being like in a revival or a church setting, or she said as far as being at the stadium at a Liverpool soccer game, or she's a big Texas Longhorn fan, and she said just total strangers in a stadium, a packed stadium, and yet you feel like you're in unison with everybody sitting around you. You all love the Texas Longhorns, and it kind of spoke to me because I understand that feeling. And she said he described that feeling as collective effervescence. And if I even say it, my tongue gets all twisted. The uh, and so there is that kind of something that's like uh, there is that kind of something that kind of moves people together when we're all together. And I thought about that in the context of, I think those times that I was around large groups of people during the Harris campaign, and total strangers coming up to us and talking to us, and I turned around. I turned around one afternoon. I was out at DeKalb County Stadium out there, and I was down around the podium and where all the whoop-de-doo people were at, and uh, and I turned around. I'm like, oh my God! Standing right beside me was. I watched. She's such a good actress. I watched her on uh, Greenleaf, the series. Me and Sammy watched, and a lot of other things. Lynn Whitfield, I believe, was her name. Was little short, like tiny lady. And I'm like, oh my God, look who's standing over here right beside me. And of course, she was getting people wanting her autograph and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, those campaign rallies, and whether you're at a Trump rally or a Harris rally uh, or an Obama rally, you're in a group of thousands of people, and there's just a collective effort persons uh, uh, that's just kind of flows through. And I remember years ago, I used to be a big Janet Jackson fan back years ago when she was in, uh, she was real popular. And I went, she had one, All For You, the thing. And oh my God, she put on such a show. And honest to God, this was downtown in Atlanta at the Phillips Arena. And that's probably seats 15, 18, 19,000 people. And me and Jai, a buddy of mine, me and Jai went. We had real good seats. Well, here's the thing about it is those 15,000 people, she come out on stage. Well, we stood up to flow with the music, to dance, to her whole concert. I'm not telling you no lie. People didn't sit down, even though we had seats and all like that. Everybody just stood. Everybody was just. It was just that collectiveness of being together with a group of people. And it can happen in a church like that too, where you just feel like you're all on the same page with each other. So hey Nancy over on Facebook. So I don't know. I just if you listen to Doctor, thank y'all for the likes and the hearts over on TikTok. Hey there. Hey, good evening, everybody. Eddie William Sellers. I always holler that, don't I? I'm like, look, watch me holler. Eddie William Sellers on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram this evening. Waiting for Ava to wake up from her nap. I just got through. Hey, y'all. I took and threw out 5 pounds of clover like a couple of weeks ago, and I just come out the water, and it's just growing in patches and going crazy. Clover growing all back over around the garden, and I know bees and bees love it. So I'm just watching clover grow. So anyhow, let me see if I'm even able to do this. Let me see. Oh, I can move this around. Interesting. I did not know that I could have photos. Let me see if I can do this. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Y'all forgive me just for a minute. Uh, am I still on? Yeah, I'm still on. What do you mean? Are you still on? Of course, I'm still on. I am Eddie William Sellers. There we go. I don't even need to see that. Hey, y'all. So, uh, collective effervescence um, uh, uh, is the proper way to say it now that I can read it. Collective effervescence refers to the heightened state of collective emotion. Like when I had season tickets to the Falcons for years, had season tickets to the Braves for years. I'm a big sports fan, more so used to, but but it's fun sitting in a stadium of 70,000 people and all of you pulling for the Falcons, and we're all collective effervescence in a state of collective effervescence. I'm going to say that word a lot, I know. The heightened state of collective emotion, energy, and the unity that people experience during shared communal activities like rituals, ceremonies, or events. It is a feeling of being swept up in a shared experience. I know that the people at Metron just had last weekend a meditation weekend down on Jekyll Island. And I think it was their 25th one. I've been to maybe 22 of them. This may have been the third one I've missed. But the thing that's so powerful about people gathering in a shared experience is typically let me clear my throat. Typically, I don't know how many people were down there this past weekend, but on average, there's at least maybe 50 people that's went to these experiences on St. Simon's and Cherokee and down on Jekyll to have sunrise, to be on the beach as a group of 50, maybe as high as 60 or 70 some of the meditation weekends. And you're sitting in a circle on the beach as the sun rises, and you're just sharing the experience together. And there's an experience to that. It ain't brought by any one person, but it's a communal experience, a collective effervescence. Collective effervescence is that feeling of just of emotion, of a connection. It's a feeling of being swept up in a shared experience. I'm going to come on here tonight and going to give y'all the definition of what collective effervescence is that I listened to Dr. Brene Brown earlier in a little radio interview she was doing. Often associated with the sense of belonging, excitement, and heightened social bonding. And I've always thought this mainly about churches as somebody who pastored a church for 17 years. I don't know if church was really ever about Jesus or if it's even about religion. I know people that go to church regularly, oh no, I love the Lord. It's about my salvation. It's about people that actually do go to church. Because most Christians don't go to church. They say, yeah, I'm a Christian, but, if they went to church, they wouldn't be enough buildings in the country to hold everybody that says they're a Christian. But I've often thought people went to church because of a sense of belonging in a community, of feeling a part of something, because you can sit in your backyard and be as close to Jesus as you want to be. So, but there is that sense of a collective effervescence that happens when you're around people where you're a part of their experience. So anyhow, good evening, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And intense emotional activation, My God, I've seen people weep and cry and carry on something in church revivals, people at the altar and just weeping their eyes out, trying to cast all their burdens and cares up on an altar somewhere. Individuals experience a surge of emotion, often positive and exhilarating, during these shared moments of communal people that gather together. A sense of unity and belonging. People feel connected to others in a group, transcending individual identities and creating a sense of collective purpose. The activity itself, whether a ritual, celebration, or event, serves as a unifying force, bringing people together around a common goal of experience. So, thank y'all for the clicks over here and the hellos and the likes on TikTok. So, I would never come on here and tell anybody you should, get in church. I don't even believe in a lot of that kind of dogmatic stuff anymore. But I will tell you this, that to be a part of something or to feel a part of something, it adds value to your life, and I have an architect friend of mine who's come in the shop for years. He don't go to church and he's not into all that kind of stuff. What he does, he goes to every Falcons game, him and his family, and for the last 20 years that I've known him, every away game, this tells you have to have some money to do this. Every away game, it don't matter if it's Los Angeles, if it's London, if it's New York, Miami, wherever the Falcons are playing, he's got his family on a plane that they're flying to that city. They're going to a Falcons game that's in Los Angeles or wherever. And he loves just being a part of that and experiencing that. And yeah, if I had that kind of money, I might would travel and do some of that kind of stuff. But man, that would take some money, wouldn't it? So anyhow, collective effervescence is what I was thinking about earlier today when I was doing all that. Clover is how I learned. I am allergic to bees. Yeah, the clover draws. Kathy says over on Facebook, clover really attracts a lot of bees. I have a jar of clover honey in there. So, but anyway, good evening, everybody. I'm sitting out here in my peaceful little back of my house here in Jefferson Park in East Point, Georgia. Ava's in there. She said, I ain't going to sleep long. I'm going to just get me a little short nap in. Honest to God, I think sometimes she's the spirit of an 80-year-old woman in a 40-year-old body. But yeah. So anyway, how's it going? I just up and run out of stuff to say. So supposedly we're going to have thunderstorms and stuff coming through, and wind and little storms, I think when the thing about the collective, just trying to survive 2025, I think the thing that kind of spoke to me about the Brene Brown talking about collective effervescence is that there was a sense of, I got swept up in a campaign, the Harris campaign, and there was just such an excitement about being a part of something that was just being a part of something like that. It was pretty good, pretty wonderful experience. Hello over there. Thank y'all. So anyway, y'all, I had a day of a lot of, I get a day every once in a while like today of just a lot of do nothingness. Although I did clean up my chicken run in my hen house and raked it all out and got it all clean, put fresh hay down in that. And I use all that stuff that I take out. I clean it every month really good. And every couple of weeks, I really scrub the water bowls out and make sure there's fresh water and stuff. But other than that, and then I went over to, there's a place on Jonesboro Road right over here by the Home Depot called John's. They got such good cornbread. I got butter beans and turnip greens and corn. It was so good. And I know some of you people probably don't. Spring thunderstorms are good for the neighborhood, makes for good sleeping. Yeah, I love rainy evenings, rainy nights, rainy days. I love it, And every once in a while we'll get a rain here. We're like, my God, it's rained for 5 days, straight days, and it don't bother me. Thank y'all. But anyhow, that place over there, I wanted something to eat. I've got where I don't eat really and truly. I just eat one meal a day. And other than that, I just kind of maybe, if I need something, I need a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a little bowl of cereal or something if I'm kind of hungry. Thank you there. Thank you, Katrina. Good evening to you over on TikTok. But if I typically have my one meal a day, I get up and eat a banana, and then at some point, maybe 3 o'clock, 2:30, something, I'll have a meal. Sometimes I'll cook breakfast at like 11:30 or 12, just a light breakfast. I try to eat my honeydew melon and my fruit, and but But like this evening, I went over to there's a place called John's Soul Food, I believe it is. And man, they got good food. You can tell when a place is good when they got a good piece of cornbread. The butter beans was cooked good, the turnip greens. Oh, what I was going to tell you, I got a side of one of the vegetables, I got a side of beets. I don't know if a lot of people eat beets. I love beets. I rarely ever eat them, but I love beets, and so personal development coach. Yeah, cool. So, but anyway, y'all, it's starting to get dark out here. I'm gonna. I've watched all the episodes of Handmaid's Tale. There's 2 left. There's still 2 left. That series should have ended last season. Hey, Half Halt Farm. Good evening to you. Hey, TikTok. It's after you watch a series and it's over and over, it kind of gets redundant. You kind of get ready for. I'm just tired of watching all this. They all can die. Good night, Rhonda. So anyway, y'all. Tomorrow's Friday. We got the weekend coming up. I have nothing to do tomorrow. Get up in the morning, do my walk, get out here and do a little bit of gardening. I'm enjoying my gardening. Half Halt Farm. I'm in Newnan. Yeah, cool. Isn't Newnan pretty down there? They had back in April. I went down the Coweta. Is it the Coweta County State? Newnan. It's in Newnan, a fairground down there. They have the big Chattahoochee poultry swapping meet, and all the chickens down there. I was down there in Newnan, and then right across the street from that, there's a nursery that I didn't know, but a big nursery where they grow all kind of stuff. And I stopped in there and bought 2 or 3 hydrangeas. But Newnan's pretty down there. Come on down for lunch. Yeah, I tell you, I come down. It don't take but about 25 minutes from East Point to get over there to Newnan. Hit 85 South right here. But but anyway, y'all, got the next few days. Ava's going to be gone all next week. So I take you up on that lunch offer. I'm going to be by myself all next week. Ava is going to Nashville, I believe it is, next week. She'll be gone all week, really. Be back next weekend. So me and Booman will be out here. I'll be. My daughter Heather makes fun of me. So you can tell when Daddy's bored, he'll go live on Facebook. So y'all get ready because next week when Ava's gone all week, I'll probably be on here live for 2 hours every evening, just talking and babbling, and I really haven't really. That's cool. That's cool. There, people offering to buy me lunch. I'll take. Yeah. I really haven't. I don't know what else going on in the news today, but I just have to give my headspace a break from all that. It's actually when you watch The Handmaid's Tales, and it's less anxiety and less stressful than turning on CNN and hearing what's really going on in the country. It's like, good Lord. Oh, Matt, how was the Renaissance Festival? That wasn't in Newnan. That was in. I loved it. I did. I enjoyed it. It's going to be down there for the next. For the rest of this, for the next few weeks, I think it'll last for about 30 days. But last Saturday, me and Jill and Savannah and Caleb and Chance and Kathy went to the Renaissance Festival. It's been coming here for 30 years, and I never had been to it. But you got all these people dressed in these outlandish costumes and stuff. And at one point, I'm walking through the Renaissance Festival, and I mean just hundreds, and not thousands of people in the top hats and coats and French clothing and dressed up as whatever. And I thought, there's something about adults that like to dress up, costume parties, put on outfits and all like that. And then I sat down and I was thinking, I'm like, it's probably no more bizarre than Pentecostal and apostolic and Amish people, and all dressing the way they dress with their buns on their head and their long sleeves and their long dresses down to below their ankles. And, in some Pentecostal churches or holiness apostolic churches, they still preach that if a woman wears a shoe that allows her toes to show, that's a sin. So they got some weird clothing. Weird. It's weird, y'all. It's weird. I haven't been in years, but I thought it was so cool. It is cool, Matt. I enjoyed it. I would go back. I wouldn't go back when it's real hot. But I mean, it's basically a bunch of people selling rocks and beads, and it's almost like a big hippie coming together or whatever. But I did enjoy it. It was in Union City, I believe it is. Back down, just beautiful down around Fairburn and Union City where it's at. It's been a while since I drove down through there. Matt said, I always thought the church snake handlers was cool. Crazy, but cool. Very brave. I had a preacher that befriended me that was a snake handler. And I loved him. And, we never ever discussed any of that in the years that I preached or whatever. To be honest, I always thought it was kind of more like people with mental illness that would want to dive into that kind of stuff. But I was preaching on the radio, and he showed up at a revival, and then he had his own church, but it was a little small church, and he liked to come and on services that, he couldn't come on Sundays, but when I preached, I did a lot of revivals and a lot of weekend services. So he'd come, and then he told me who he was and what he did. And, it's so weird. At first, I just thought, man, this guy's got to be a real weirdo. And then little by little, as he kept coming in, he just acted like he loved me so much. There's something about loving people. You can love people into your corner. And you can love people that, I don't know, there's something powerful about it when people love you. And I could tell he genuinely just kind of loved me, looked up to me, and I figured I could use that as a way to wean him away from that. Hopefully he did get away from it. But I always thought it was kind of creepy. But were the snakes really poisonous, or was it all a gimmick? No, you can go YouTube them. Those are rattlesnakes. They're picking up. You can hear the rattles clicking. They cottonmouths, copperheads, rattlesnakes. No, they were dead serious. They still some of them little churches up there in Adairsville and Rome, Georgia, where Margaret Taylor Greene's from. She looks like a snake handler. I can't say that. They'll ban me off TikTok. She looks like she'd have some rattlesnakes, and she got a boho shatara the boho, don't she? Just but anyway, they are real, and not only that. To answer this question over here on TikTok, this guy told me he wanted me to go eat with him one time, and I met him at a Waffle House, and we were eating, and he was just telling me his history and his story. And when you're a preacher, and you just meet all kind of people, and he said, Brother Eddie said, I want to tell you something. He started telling me about all what he did and stuff. And he said he was in a service one night and said they drank battery acid. Now, this is crazy, because if you drink any deadly thing, it will not harm you. They literally poured the battery acid out of a car battery, and they drank it. And he said he went home and kissed his wife, because his wife didn't have nothing to do with all that. And because she tasted the battery acid off of his tongue or his mouth or something, it made her really sick, he said. You can't even make this shit up, y'all. You can't even make this shit up. I've got 50 books inside me that I want to go sit down in a backyard somewhere and write. But he said he forgot that he drank the battery acid by the time he got home, that it was just a nonchalant thing to him, but it made his wife sick. Because she had battery acid in her mouth. don't know. Maybe they're doing a little tongue kissing or something. But it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? Oh my God. Um, so yeah, interesting. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go in here. I started watching on Hulu. I didn't go see it at the movie theater. I didn't really feel like it would be that good to spend. If Ava and I go to the movies, time you buy a ticket and popcorn and so you spend $40. But so I never did. I didn't think it's worth spending money for. But the movies on Hulu, the Chalamet guy who's playing Bob Dylan. I don't know what the name of it is, but I started watching. I watched about 30 minutes of that, and I'm going to go in and probably watch a little bit more of that. Yeah, the movie theaters these days are so damn expensive, ain't they? I mean, it's not only that; it's like everything. Everything is so expensive. I'm telling y'all, honest before God, me and Ava stopped at a place, and I don't want to say the place because it's whatever, but we went to a place and we had hot dog. Each one of us got a hot dog, just regular bun hot dog, not the foot long hot dog you get at Zesto, but a regular bun hot dog. So we got 2 hot dogs. We got to order a tater tots to share, because they have a regular and a large. So I said, just get a large order and we just share them. God, don't you love tater tots? I love tater tots, especially dip them in a little sauce. They have their own special sauce you dip them. So we got 2 regular hot dogs, 1 tater tot to share, and 2 Cokes. And it was $42. $42 for 2 hot dogs, tater tot, and 2 Cokes. It's just crazy. It's expensive, isn't it? Why do I have to whisper when I say that? Like, oh my God, the neighbor's going to hear me. But that's the other thing too. If I do say anything about yes, but the thing about it is, even if I go by Zestos, I gained a half a pound this month, and I know where it came from. I stopped at Zestos, I started at Dairy Queen, and I stopped at Chick-fil-A. So 3 times last month, I ate horrible, but only about like 3 times. But even if I stop by Zestos now and get a Chubba Decker basket and a medium Coke, it's $15. $15. So if you think you're sitting at a restaurant for 2 orders of hot dogs, $40. It's just expensive. Even McDonald's ain't cheap no more. How funny! I was thinking about you today and wondering why I haven't seen your post. P Hester 86 or Fester 86. Yeah, it is crazy, Linda. And that's the other thing. If we was going to say anything political, and y'all, I don't salivate, and it don't excite me that Donald Trump's got the worst poll numbers of any president in history in the first 100 days. I don't care about all that. I don't gloat in it. I don't say, I told you, he's sorry. To me, it's all silly. But it is ironic to me that the MAGA people were so outraged about the prices of stuff. You don't hear them say anything now. Oh, they're content. They're happy. It wouldn't matter if gas went to $39 a gallon. No, they're happy. It's weird, isn't it? If eggs are $15 a dozen, MAGA don't care now. Well, maybe it never was about the price, but they act like they were so outraged at inflation and prices. And all of it now is just quiet. Prices are just skyrocketing, just continue to skyrocket. They don't care. They're fine. It is weird, isn't it? This horse, I can't say that name, but they're saying things are cheaper now. And isn't that weird? Donald Trump went on TV a while back and he said eggs have come down, gas has come down, groceries are cheaper now. And the people that are just leaving, MAGA people who are just leaving Kroger and just spend $193 for a couple little bags of something, they're like, yeah, it's cheaper, isn't it? They're weird. I don't get it. I just really don't get it. It's almost like a religion to them, you know. Democrats, I guarantee if the Democrats elect somebody, they get in there and start screwing up like Donald Trump has, they'd be like, next, y'all get them out of office. Next, we want somebody else. You know, with Trump though, he's like cast a voodoo spell over people. You know, it's like they're holding snakes and you know, they're just, to me, it's weird. I can't. It's hard to crack through that veneer of what's going on with them. You know, it's disturbing, actually, to tell you the truth. Um, but anyway, y'all, I guess I babbled out. I always love seeing people come on TikTok and thank y'all for the hearts or whatever. Let me. A Complete Unknown. Yeah, that's what it is. The movie. I'm gonna watch. I'll watch the rest of it this evening. I mean, I like Bob Dylan music. I like the songs he sung. I like that style of music. I get my guitar out sometimes and I sing, ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It don't matter anyhow. You know, ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. La 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 da. Yeah, it is a cult, Stephanie. I mean, really and truly, it is a cult. But y'all, and this is just me, and don't nobody get offended by it, or get offended if you like. But to me, the Catholics are a cult. The Mormons are a cult. The Pentecostals is a cult. I don't care what kind of, you throw it apostolic, Assembly of God Church, it's just one big umbrella of a cult. And, but a cult, I'm not saying that a cult's a horrible thing. When we think about cults, we think about Branch Davidians and little 12-year-old girls get married off now. Be careful, I'll say that. Baptists are a cult. Yeah, yes, hon. Yes, Mama Louise, you in a cult, baby. You get up every morning and go pay your little offering to your cult that you belong to. So I look at all of it as a cult, but not as a negative way of looking at a cult. This is community. Some of them do some good. But I think that's the thing about the MAGA crowd that strikes me is they get upset and offended if you say they're a cult. But of course they're a cult. And there's people that's in the Democratic Party that's very cultish, very cult-minded. It wouldn't matter, you know, what you say. They can't see through that veneer of the cult mindset they have. They love to hate. Yes, yeah, and yeah, you know, they do love to hate. But so, I mean, my God, have y'all ever read the history of the the how the Bible came into being and the Protestants of England and the Catholic Church and the church has always been a hotbed of hate for other people. And even if you go around the country to any gay prides or whatever, you'll have these church groups out there screaming and hollering obscenities and vulgarness, and you can just feel how I did a post. The first time I'd ever said the fuck word in public, because people have this perception of this persona that I am. And it's just inappropriate to me, being the age I am and using language like that. Well, last year, me and Ava was coming back from Gay Pride at Piedmont Park here in Atlanta, and these people walking by us with these signs, and you're going to hell, and using the F word for homosexuals and degrading, and as they walk by, it makes Ava uncomfortable. But they're walking by me, and I just looked at them. I said, "Fuck you," And then I came back, and yeah, they are nuts, Dennis. Then I came back, and I typed on Facebook. I said I had a picture of them at Pride with their signs, and I just simply said, fuck you. That was the only thing I said on Facebook. Well, boy, just a few people just got bent out of shape out of that. Unfriend you, take you off. How dare you use such vulgar language like this? The same people that are just insanely supportive of a man who bragged about grabbing women by their vajujus. They don't have a problem with that, but they have a problem with me saying fuck you. The word. It was just weird. I have a few MAGA in my family, and they're the ones who go to church every Sunday. My sister was downright giddy watching the first round of the immigrants being bussed off to El Salvador. Isn't that disturbing, Katie? That's so disturbing. And y'all, I'd be like the judge. They'd come to Constance's house and put me in jail. If I had immigrants in my neighborhood, it says, Eddie, can you hide us in Ava's studio for a little bit? I'd hide them. Because to me, they're human beings. They're moms and dads. They're people that bleed blood. They're people that have a I'd hide them. I'd hide them. And that's just who I am, though, because I don't look at people as Mexicans or illegals. I look at people as extensions of God Almighty. All people are God's people. Yeah, and I know a country has to have rules and has to have borders and has to have this, but the Republicans and MAGA people have dragged on this immigration bullshit for years now, using it for a political, Dennis, using this as a political weapon to rile up these evangelicals, make them believe that the Mexicans are going to take all their jobs away from them. Like they want to go to the hot parts of South Alabama in August and pick tomatoes. Seriously? You ain't going to find no white people down there picking tomatoes in Alabama. And but I'd hide them. You know, I think it's disgraceful that churches don't go down there and minister to the thousands of people that's around the southern border and offer them water and food, as opposed to they just enjoying and appreciating Donald Trump for treating them like they're animals, you know? So, but anyway, y'all, that's just me. Yes, I know when I start getting over on the political tinge, everybody starts chiming in now. Love y'all. I'm going to bed. I'm not going to bed. I'm going to go lay down in my bed because we have a TV in the bedroom, and I'm going to watch an unknown. What was it again? A Complete Unknown. That's the name of it. And a little Chalamet or whatever. Isn't he a cute little fella? Just so cute. He looks like a little kid, but he's so cute. He's a good actor too. Good night, Linda. Good night, all of y'all. Let me hang up and get off of here. See y'all in the morning.